Hey, Eagle fans, before we start today's video, you know what I'm going to ask for, and that is mailbag questions. I know you got a lot of Eagle-related questions, a lot of crazy stuff to get into today in this video, but for tomorrow's video, the weekend mailbag video, use the hashtag Eagles down below in the comment section and ask away. I'm going to do as many questions as I can tomorrow. We're going to get into a long discussion based on your guys' questions regarding our Philadelphia Eagles tomorrow, but for now, stay tuned as we jump into a crazy batch of Eagles news and rumors. All right, so a lot of the news and rumors are going to focus on all the happenings that are really going on this week in Philadelphia, and that, of course, is the quarterback change. As, of course, you probably saw, Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday against the #1 ranked Saint defense in the National Football League. Now, while a lot of fans are unanimously happy about this, it feels like the majority of Eagle fans, I'm not really one of them, a lot of them are very happy about Jalen Hurts starting. Seems like some of the players are not happy about the change. Some of the players seem betrayed and seem upset that Hurts is starting over Wentz. Someone like, let's say, Fletcher Cox, who made news this week by liking a tweet that basically showed his support for Carson Wentz over Jalen Hurts. And this is something that I think surprises a lot of people because they don't know or understand the bond and friendship that Cox and Carson Wentz have. More on that here in just 1 second. So essentially, there was a tweet by 94.1 WIP, the flagship station of the Eagles up in Philadelphia, that had a like for Carson Wentz, retweet for Jalen Hurts on who you want the Eagles starting quarterback to be. And guess what? Fletcher Cox liked the Carson Wentz part of it. So he liked it for Carson Wentz instead of retweeting for Jalen Hurts. And then he stood by his comments, we'll hear in a second, basically saying that, hey, I stand by my take. Carson be the starting quarterback of this football team, and I wish that he was the guy starting on Sunday, even though Hurts, of course, is going to go ahead and start on Sunday against the New Orleans Saints. Now, this to me breeds even more trouble, not only in the locker room, but just shows the overall dysfunction and trouble of the Eagles organization this year. If you make this move, you want it to be a unanimous move, where people are like, yeah, we got to get Hurts in there, and that does not seem to be the case, which to me says the players understand this is not all Carson Wentz's fault, and a lot of it relies on both the head coach and the front office. Here was the Bleeding Green Nation write-up on the whole thing. I'll give you a full example of what happened. Quote, the defensive tackle was asked about liking a 94 WIP tweet that asked followers to retweet in support of Jalen Hurts and like to support Carson Wentz. A day after, not so subtly, showing his preference at quarterback on Twitter, Cox was adamant that he supports both, but his tweet was not an accident. And of course, his tweet was not an accident. And of course, this is going to be a big-name headline, breaking news kind of thing in Philadelphia because, again, they're trying to see how the locker room is not only reacting to Carson Wentz's struggles this year, but now the team struggles behind his quarterback play and obviously the starting and benching of Jalen Hurts for Carson Wentz. Cox himself has had a decent year, not a fantastic year, but is still one of the vocal leaders, if not the vocal leader on defense. So when he speaks, it definitely matters. And here was his exact quote to the Eagle media in a press conference on Zoom just, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Quote, Carson is my best friend on the team. I've had his back since day one. It sucks for a guy like Carson to be put in that position. It's never one guy. You're going to hear that all week long. I mean, if you literally listen to any other person, we're going to play Jason Kelce, or give you guys the Jason Kelce quote here in a second, but they're all saying the same thing. This isn't Carson's fault. Like, Carson Wentz has a lot of issues this year. The turnovers on your screen right now that you see are one of them. The most sacked quarterback in the league. A lot of those are his fault. But as I've said time and time again, the issues in Philadelphia start from the top and then work their way down. A fish rots from the head down, and the Eagles at the very, very top and Howie Roseman have been rotting the past couple of years, and it's finally gone all the way down the chain of command to where it's put its entire rearing of the ugly head in front of Carson Wentz, and that, of course, has resulted in him being benched. One final quote here, and then we'll move on to the injury news. Jason Kelce was asked about the Eagles' struggles, and I think he backs up, Wentz and backs up Fletcher Cox's comments as well, saying, quote, whenever you're this bad, it's never just one person. It's never just one position group. It's never just players, coaches, or front office. It's everybody, which I think perfectly sums up how I feel about Philadelphia so far this year. I'll ask you guys this first question here. It'll be the pinned comment down below. Should the Eagles move on from Wentz? We're going to talk more about this later because there's some pretty steamy bombshell breaking news in terms of potential Carson Wentz trades with sources. We'll have that a little bit later on in this video, but let me know what you guys think. Should the Eagles move on from Wentz? Y down below for yes and down below for no. Again, I mentioned that crazy Carson Wentz trade stuff. Let's jump right into that right now. So there is a report, and it's a legit report from CBS Sports, saying that insiders inside the Eagles organization have said the Eagles will, in fact, try to trade Carson Wentz this offseason, and have mentioned getting a first-round draft pick. I've read that multiple places from multiple sources being the target compensation received if you were to trade Carson Wentz. This means that you could have a scenario where Carson Wentz is the most sought-after not free agent quarterback because he wouldn't be a free agent, but essentially quarterback available in the 2021 free agency/trade deadline. And to me, this is obvious. I think the teams will easily want to trade for Carson Wentz because there was a report a couple months ago saying that all GMs were unanimous around the National Football League that Wentz would be successful in another system not named Philadelphia. So here was CBS Sports breaking this trade news on Carson Wentz. Quote, one NFL source told CBS Sports it's more likely than not the Eagles would try to trade Wentz. The source, who is familiar with Eagles management, added that it's possible but not likely the team will view Wentz as salvageable and that Wentz's lack of consistency and injury history makes him expendable, end quote. So possible you could salvage him, but unlikely, which again means they're going to ship him somewhere this offseason. As we have said, cutting Carson Wentz is virtually impossible this year. You have to trade him, and I think that would at least make up for the fact that we've gotten to this point if they were able to get some compensation for him. How about this? Where will he play next year? If you had to guess, will he be an Eagle next year? Could he be somewhere else? Maybe Indy, maybe the Jets, maybe, I don't know where. Where do you think he'll play next year? That is Carson Wentz. Let me know down below in the comments section. There are two ways to look at trading Carson Wentz. One, you're trading away a franchise quarterback, a former should-have-been MVP, one of the better quarterbacks in the league over the past couple of years, or you're trading for a washed-up guy who's forgotten how to play football, who has a ton of injuries, and who's not going to be long for this football league. I would say the hope for Philadelphia, if you were to trade him, which I, of course, am against, if you were to trade Carson Wentz, you would want to hope that they would give back a high compensation, a first or second round draft pick, just to ease the fear that a lot of people have in Philadelphia that they are going to waste Carson Wentz and give him somewhere else, and then he'll succeed, which, of course, is based on past history because he has been very successful in Philadelphia minus this year. Here are teams that currently need quarterbacks. We know the Jets need one. The Jaguars need one. Both of those don't seem to make a lot of sense, though, because they have a number one, number two overall pick, so Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. I think San Francisco could be on that list as well. The Patriots and Cam Newton is not a guarantee. I think Detroit could be a possible landing spot as well. There's a lot of places I could very well be very interested in going for Carson Wentz, and so we're going to do a video breakdown on this next week. I'll give my actual list of the possible landing spots, but I think you could throw Indianapolis in there. I think there are a couple of other places where Carson Wentz could very easily land, not just being the list of 5 you see on your screen right now, but those 5, again, are ones that we know for a fact need a quarterback, and I would say that San Francisco and Detroit might already have theirs, but they would probably rather have Carson Wentz over the Matt Staffords of the world, and probably the Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Mullins of the world as well. Okay, let's go to the final bit of news here on this Philadelphia Eagle Now video, as we, of course, keep rolling through what is happening this week. So normally we talk about team injuries right now because we're getting you ready for Sunday, so what's the injury report happening right now? There was a very interesting quote by Doug Pederson about why Alshon Jeffery and Jason Peters might be out on Sunday. Now, you might go, okay, well, are they injured? And the answer is no. Doug Pederson said they were both sore. So you're sore. What? Every player in the National Football League is sore right now. It honestly feels like they're going to bench Alshon Jeffery and Jason Peters this week, claim it as being sore just to save face and let the younger players go ahead and play. Now, obviously, these guys should have been benched a while ago, but it's like, what are we trying to do here? Protect their egos? Well, I mean, what ego do you have left when you're a washed-up left tackle who used to be really good and now is absolutely garbage in Jason Peters, and a washed-up wide receiver who used to be good but can't even seem to get open running routes against B-level cornerbacks in the National Football League, and Alshon Jeffery. Crazy stuff here. We'll get to the full injury report in just 1 second. Make sure, though, you guys are subscribed to Philadelphia Eagles Now. That way you are up to date with our latest injury news because there's a lot of stuff going on. Let me tell you, even if Philadelphia continues to trend downward as they are right now, that means the injury and the news stuff is going to keep going upward, and we're going to cover it here every single day, seemingly, on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Here's your full injury report. You got 4 players that did not participate in practice yesterday. TJ Edwards, Rudy Ford, Michael Jackett, and, of course, Fletcher Cox. Edwards and Cox are expected to be fine. It was more of a rest thing like they did last week. Ford probably not going to play. Jackett probably not going to play as well. In terms of the 3 who were limited, you see Jeffrey and Peters there, so they did practice, but in a limited fashion. Throw Darius Slay, that knee and calf injury, in as well. Unsure on those 3. Again, soreness being said about Jeffrey and Peters. Slay completely up in the air. I would not be surprised if they end up saying they're out due to injuries, but in reality, they just don't want to play Jeffrey and Peters because the season is lost anyway, it feels like, and they want to get some younger players in with reps, which they should have been doing a long time ago. Here quickly was that quote that made us all scratch our heads. Here's Doug Pederson quote. Well, with those 2 guys, that's Jeffrey and Peters, I got to see today just how they're feeling. I know both guys are sore, and I haven't made a firm commitment yet either way, so it could be another change It's always a possibility. Again, soreness. You're week 14 in the NFL. Everybody's sore. I'm sore just covering this football team because of how injured they have been. These are not, it doesn't seem like they're real injuries. It seems like it's a real excuse to get the players out. The way they can put in more John Hightower and put in more whoever it is, Nate Erbig at right guard, or whoever the heck they want to play over there. It's interesting. It's very interesting, and we'll keep an eye on this. I just think they need to play younger guys. I mean, get the young guys in there. Less Jeffery, more Fulgham. Less Jeffery, more Hightower. Like, the odds of them winning the NFC East are just like all the way down. So get the young guys reps who are actually going to be big-time impacts on this team, as Peters and Jeffery will not next year. Like this video if you guys agree with me, because I do think they should 100% be playing the young guys right now. And I think you guys should like the video to just show that you agree with me, because I think this is ridiculous, and it's been ridiculous for a very, very long time. Okay, quickly, I need to do my 3 bets of the week, the locks that I think could make you some money. Best way to do it with our friends at BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/EaglesBet. Use that promo code EAGLES125. Get 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. You can, of course, bet on the Eagles-Saints game. I don't feel too good about the Saints minus 7.5. I think the Saints are going to win this football game. If you believe in Jalen Hurts, then sure. Bet on this game with our friends at BetUS. I have better locks overall. I think Packers minus 7.5 over the Lions is all but guaranteed. This is a double-digit win for the Packers. It's written all over it. Houston -1 against the Bears. You really think the Bears are going to beat the Texans? I know the Texans are bad this year. Give me Houston -1. Vikings +6.5 against the Bucks. This will be a close football game, and it could be a outright win. The way the Bucks, a Viking outright win. The way the Bucks have been struggling. So those are my 3 locks: Packers over Lions, Houston over Bears, Vikings +6.5 against the Bucks. They will at least cover that game, if not win it, because the Vikings are hot right now, and the Bucks are not. Okay. 2 more stories to go ahead and get into quickly. The Malcolm Jenkins Revenge Tour will be happening on Sunday, as Malcolm Jenkins, the former Pro Bowl safety for Philadelphia, one of the greatest Eagles of the past 10 years, and one of the reasons why they won the 2017 Super Bowl, will make his first return back to Philadelphia for the first time since leaving this offseason. Of course, people have been asking about him this week, and asked Malcolm Jenkins himself, talking about, what do you think about returning to Philadelphia, a team that didn't want you? Remember, Philadelphia could have re-signed him, and they did not, and so they, could potentially have had him back, and he's had a great year in New Orleans, and Jenkins seems kind of butthurt about this, and honestly he should be, because here's another dumb Howie Roseman move that made no sense. Quote, Malcolm Jenkins: I gave everything I had to this city, to this team, did everything the coaches asked me to do, did everything to make the players around me better, try to put my best football out there, and it just wasn't valued that much by those who make the decisions. And Howie Roseman again made that decision, and he's the one who has to live with the fact that Jenkins is a great player, is going to play really hard on Sunday, and I bet make the Eagles look dumb for letting him go. He went on to say, quote, for me, it was just more of a principle about respect. I really didn't care what about the money was, but I wanted to see what the respect favor was, and it wasn't the value that I had thought. And so decisions are made, and I end up at a place that values what I bring. And Jenkins, again, has been very, very good this year. And you got to remember, he was the one who was replaced by Jalen Mills, who has not been very good this year. I think Mills might have his final year in Philadelphia this year. So the overall, just the comparison that you see right now, I think shows, even though that Jenkins only has 1 more pick, he has been a lot better player than Jalen Mills based on the film that I went ahead and watched to prepare for this video. So good job, Howie Roseman, for not only giving Malcolm Jenkins an incentive to play harder on Sunday, but for just being dumb and making a terrible decision, as we've seen you do each of the past couple of off seasons. Predict the score. What do you think? Eagles-Saints. I think the Eagles might lose by 10, maybe 14. Maybe Jalen Hurts sparks them. Who knows? Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe Jalen Hurts sparks them and they win, and it's like, oh my gosh, how fantastic. And if they do, I'll call myself out, and I'll say I'm wrong. But I think this is going to be a Saint win. I think a 27-17 kind of victory sounds just about right. Quickly, final story here on Rodney McLeod. The Walter Payton Man of the Year award list for every team in the NFL came out. Each team can go ahead and submit 1 player to be the Walter Payton Man of the Year award submittal, and the Eagles have submitted Rodney McLeod. Of course, has started the Change Our Future Foundation, done a lot of great work for the Eagles in terms of outside of football, something that Malcolm Jenkins did a lot of during his time in Philadelphia. You think about past winners, Chris Long won it, Troy Vincent won it. I mean, Eagles win this thing pretty often. It's a great overall award for Malcolm to be nominated for, and he was asked about this, saying, quote, growing up, I've had a lot of people sacrifice to help get me to where I am today. The fact that I have this platform to give back alongside my family, teammates, and city of Philadelphia is truly humbling. Impacting the lives of others is one of the highest honors we can all strive to achieve, and I'm blessed to be recognized next to an inspiring group of peers who are making a difference in their communities. No guarantee he'll win. I mean, 31 other very deserving NFL players being nominated for this, but just a good overall nomination, a good feeling story there for Rodney McLeod. So spam congrats in the chat. Type congrats down to Rodney McLeod for this, because this is this is good. This is a really good thing to be nominated for, and we hope that he has a chance to go ahead and win it. Okay. Hashtag Eagles for mailbag questions. Again, I'm going to get through those, probably film the video tomorrow or the next day, so stay tuned for that. And, of course, ultimately out for today on Philadelphia Eagles Now, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off for the rest of your day.